Chapter 1 Body Language. Your life will change as soon as you start using the secret language of non-verbal communication consciously. It will enhance your professional and social life and will increase your ability to get on with everyone you meet in your everyday life. You will be able to read the body language signals of others accurately and be able to use that information to interact and communicate with everyone you deal with more effectively than ever before. You will find the art of body language easy to learn and it will improve your life immeasurably. In 1967, Professor Albert Mehrabian of UCLA conducted two groundbreaking studies into verbal and non-verbal messages. They demonstrated that 55% of the meaning came from the person's posture, gestures, and facial expressions. 38% came from the pitch, tone, and speed of the person's voice, and 7% came from the words used. In other words, more than 90% of communication comes from non-verbal cues. People have argued about the exact percentages ever since, but no matter what figures they come up with, they all agree that by far the greatest amount of communication is done silently through body language. Is speech an excellent way to convey information? However, it is our bodies that convey our moods and feelings. Professor Mehrabian believes that the three elements of communication are verbal, vocal, and visual. All three of these need to be congruent for the message to be believed. If, for instance, someone says "I like you" but makes little eye contact and has no enthusiasm in his or her voice, the person hearing those words will trust the non-verbal aspects of the communication rather than the words. Unfortunately, Professor Mehrabian's conclusions have been misinterpreted by people who thought the percentages related to all interpersonal communications. It's important to remember that Professor Mehrabian did not claim these percentages were valid in all person-to-person communications. His research experiments investigated communications involving feelings and attitudes. Most people go through life completely unaware of the silent they are receiving and sending every day. It's been proven that most successful people in any field are those who are best at picking up and interpreting the hidden cues that everyone reveals to others unconsciously. Some people have a natural ability at gaining rapport with others. Nelson Mandela, the anti-apartheid campaigner, statesman, and the former president of South Africa, was a striking example. During his more than 27 years in prison, a number of his warders became good friends because of his charisma and rapport. Nelson Mandela stayed in contact with three of them after he was released from prison. Rapport is a harmonious, sympathetic, mutual understanding between two people. When you use body language appropriately, rapport occurs naturally. Understanding body language is a vital skill that will enhance your life in many ways, as well as being able to read the hidden motivations of others. You will become aware of the messages you are unconsciously sending to others. Some of these silent messages will be positive, but others may be negative. Once you become aware of the negative ones, you will be able to focus on them and gradually eliminate them. The celebrated film actor Cary Grant, 1904 to 1986, is an excellent example of someone who deliberately altered his body language to create the image he wanted. He said, "I pretended to be someone I wanted to be until I finally became that person." This is a good technique. If you make a list of the qualities you would like to have, you can then focus on them until they become a natural part of your life. If you prefer, you can model yourself on the qualities possessed by people you admire. A good friend of mine used to constantly touch his nose when conversing with others. This unconsciously sent out a message to others that he might not be telling the truth, when in reality it was simply a bad habit caused by childhood insecurities. Once he became aware of what he was doing, he was able to work on correcting it. My introduction to body language came about when I spent 3 months working in a slaughterhouse at the age of 20. I was there to make enough money to travel from New Zealand to United Kingdom. At that time in the 1960s, a large number of people from the Pacific Islands migrated to New Zealand for work opportunities. Many of them found work at the slaughterhouse. Unfortunately, the supervisors found them extremely hard to deal with. When they were corrected for doing something wrong, instead of apologizing or looking repentant, they would look at the ground and giggle. This infuriated the supervisors, who felt the worker wasn't taking the rebuke seriously enough. At about the same time this was occurring, the employment manager was experiencing problems with potential employees too. When they came into his office to be interviewed, they made no eye contact, stared at the floor and sat down immediately, even if the manager was still standing. Management became involved, and eventually they discovered that these men were behaving in the way they had been taught back home. Looking down and giggling was a sign of embarrassment. Coming into someone's office and immediately sitting down was a sign of respect, as the person was placing himself lower than the interviewer. Looking down and making no eye contact was also a sign of respect. Once everyone understood the body language of the Pacific Islanders, the problems disappeared. Difficulties of this sort can occur whenever you are visiting a foreign country. You should study body language if you want to gain rapport with others, you want to understand others better, you want to create a positive impression, you want to sell yourself in potentially difficult situations such as a job interview, you want to become more confident, you want to put others at ease, you want to get on better with your colleagues, you want to develop closer and warmer relationships, you want to persuade and influence others, you want to understand other people's motivations, you want to communicate more effectively, you want people to respond to you more favorably, you have any dealings with the media, you want to progress in life, you want to know that politicians and celebrities are really saying when they appear on TV. As you develop your body language skills, you will notice gestures and other clues that you would fail to see before. In addition, you will be more aware of your own body language and be able to alter it to send out the signals you want other people to see. Making these changes will increase your effectiveness in every type of situations. While doing these, you will be consciously aware of what you are doing. Until now, the chances are you have been doing this unconsciously. You will become more aware of people's everyday behavior. This is known as baseline behavior. When you know how someone acts normally, you will immediately notice any changes in his or her nonverbal behavior. A friend of mine enjoys watching stand-up comedy, but he seldom reacts to anything the comedians say or do. A deadpan face is his baseline behavior. If he smiles during a show, it's a sign of extreme amusement. If you happen to see him in an audience and didn't know his baseline behavior, you would think he wasn't enjoying the show, even though he was loving every minute of it. You will observe all the gestures someone makes to determine what his or her body language indicates. If someone touches his nose while talking with you, he might be telling a lie, but may simply have an itch. You need to look for other body languages clues to determine what the message actually is. A group of gestures is known as cluster. You will also start noticing micro expressions, which are brief flashes that cross the face in a fraction of a second. These leakages are almost impossible to control and clearly tell you the person's real feelings. You will be able to establish and maintain good rapport with others more easily using a process known as mirroring. This is a technique that involves matching and reflecting back some of the other person's posture and gestures. If you are not a hermit and have any dealings at all with other people, it's to your advantages to know everything you can about body language. Body language, as its name indicates, is concerned with the whole body and not solely the face. In fact, as the face is the easiest part of the body to consciously control, many people believe more accurate results can be obtained by focusing on the rest of the body. This is because it's more likely to be honest than facial expressions, which can be manipulated easily. If you are trying to hide your true feelings, you might smile and nod your head and think you are fooling everyone. However, your body may well be betraying you as it's responding to your innermost thoughts and feelings. In 1996, a group of neurophysiologists from the University of Parma made a huge breakthrough in neurology when they discovered previously unknown brain cells that they call mirror neurons. Mirror neurons control the muscles and consequently how the body moves. These brain cells work not only when we perform an action, but also when it appears that someone else is going to perform an action. This is why your arms and legs sometimes move when you are focused on a football game. Sports coaches show their team films of their previous games as they know the countless mirror neurons will cause the players' bodies to react. Mirror neurons explain why we see someone yawn and then yawn ourselves. Television comedy use laughter tracks to encourage us to laugh in response. We are naturally attracted to people who are positive and full of energy, as your mirror neurons make us feel positive and full of energy too. Mirror neurons also allow us to empathize with others as we experience an emotional response to their high and low moments. Some people are naturally good at picking up the subtle nonverbal cues sent out by others because their mirror neurons instantly react to them. This appears to be almost intuitive, and these people naturally fit into any type of situation. However, it's a skill that anyone can learn. As your body language skills develop, you will find your mirror neurons will start providing you with information instantly too. Most people go through life blissfully unaware of the non-verbal messages they are communicating elsewhere they go. These people are easy to analyze as they are not trying to conceal anything. However, some people study and use body language to help them achieve their goals. Salespeople, managers, politicians, and con artists are good examples. Other people, such as psychologists and anthropologists, also study body language for their own reasons.